Okay, guys, a lot of people have asked me, how do I get the bags for the various Criterions in particular? Well, the Criterion collection, you get a lot of these digipacks that have all, just like our cardboard rather than the amaray plastic, and you want to be able to protect them. So I've got these bags. They came in, and I'm going to try to find the size, specific size, but they come in a bag like this. Meant to hang on a retail shelf, I suppose. I don't know how big they are, but in relation to a Blu-ray, they are, there's two sets in here, but they're bigger than the Blu-ray by quite a bit. You can see on either side of the Blu-ray, I have a little bit of extra material here. I don't know, half an inch on this side maybe, and eighth of an inch or so on the other side. Not a lot. I'm okay with that on these. What I've done is I've trimmed off a piece. Normally they're up here high. I've trimmed it down to, there's another like border piece here. I trim it down about that height, roughly. The other thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take a scissors, and on the edge of each one, I'm just going to trim down to exactly where this self-sticking part is. I mean, you won't be able to see that well on the video here, but it doesn't take all that long to do these. Go all the way across, right where the self-sticking tape is. Then I just go across and take that piece out of there. Almost tear it off, but I usually don't. I usually try to trim it. These are the worst scissors. I have good scissors. Somebody steals them on me. Now all I do is take off this tape. It protects the tape, and then kind of fold this over and fold this down, and that ought to protect the eraser head. Yeah, looks nice. Here's the back. I could trim this more if I'd like. I'll sometimes trim the corners off this too. There's some corners on here and here. I'll sometimes trim those off. I probably will for eraser head. It just sits on the shelf a little better, I find, but you don't have to do that. I'm going to trim off the excess here too. It's beyond the it's beyond where the sticky part is. Let's go right along here and do it. If you're careful, it's not a problem. Yeah. And it does a pretty nice job. Corners are off, so it lays a little better on the shelf. I'm not worried about something getting down in here as much as I'm worried about it rubbing in, rubbing along here and here, and on the shelf on the bottom. That's the parts I'm worried about. So, yeah, that's the eraser head. Now, I've got a few others I could do, but let me show you what I do for a truly oversized one. Because some of these, this will fit. Well, let me show you. These will fit. Let me see, I got a bunch of bags here, but okay. And here's the original size, if you can see it. And compared to, say, the Freshman. So it's quite a bit bigger than the Freshman. Freshman is yay thick. Here's another one, Il Sorpasso. Just a tad thicker to my eye than the Freshman. So I'm going to do Il Sorpasso next. This should fit a little more snugly than Eraserhead did, because Eraserhead is one of the thinner ones in the Digipack. This is one of the, I'm not going to say thicker, but it's certainly thicker than the other two. So you've got a lot less play here on either side. This one's going to fit pretty snugly on the sides. There's a little bit of room here on either side, but not quite as much. So what I do is trim this big piece down here, down right to this edge that's here, which is hard to see, but there's an edge here. I trim it down to that. Then I rip this part off. Then I trim the edge part down right to where the trim is, and then trim this accordingly. And should make for a nice fit. So let's go ahead and do that with the scissors. And it's not, you don't have to be that precise with this first cut, mainly because you're going to trim it down again anyway. So I'm just trying to get it out of the way, more or less, for now. Then I'm going to take the scissors and go on the edges and trim right down to where just the start of this tape, and you can see it pretty easily. It looks distinctly different from the rest. And I trim that way all the way across. Make sure not to hit the disc on the way. Okay, then I just do the edge here to take this piece right off. Now you've got the overhang piece here. In this case, I might leave this. This is a little bit thicker, so I'm going to go ahead and take this off, this tape. I just lay that kind of down. Teenager boy's getting up and ready to go someplace with their mother. Perfect. Now, I don't like the wings on this. I'm going to trim the wings off again. Yeah. So that's how I do most of the Criterions I've got. I like these stitching books, especially in this pack. So there's 2 of them done. I'm going to do one more now for you. And they really, like I said, they don't take long to do. I will endeavor to try to find out where these packs are. I believe I Googled, or I'm sorry, I searched on eBay for like oversized DVD re-sealable plastic something or other. Do that. I'll try to figure out what I searched for, but it's been quite a long time, and I always search on my iPad, and it doesn't search as easily. So now let's say we have something like this one, Monterey Pop, pretty thick. If I try to put it in this one, if it does, I'm going to go ahead and do it. But my guess is it's going to be too big. Let me try it. I don't think it's not going to work. I might be able to rip it and do it. So what I found with these sticker ones, is that, and it wasn't designed for this, but I stumbled upon it. The way these bags work in this retail case is the retail thing hangs, and then you get the bags out, you open up the bottom. It has a little thing here at the bottom. Just kind of open like this to take the bags out. Again, self-sealing already built in. So, I take this off the bottom. Like that. I take the bags out of it. Lay them in the pile. This is the easiest one of all now. Because I just take the disc, put it right in the bag. This one requires no trimming either, normally. Well, I take it back. This one requires a lot. This one does require trimming. So I'm going to have to trim this down. But when I trim it down, what will happen is I'll end up having a long piece over it, but it works. So the first thing I do is I will take the very bottom of this, down here where this is, and I'll trim off the white part. Let's see if you can see this. I do this with a couple other larger sets, and it's worked real nice. Okay, just be careful on that. And kind of bring that down to the bottom, make sure it's all the way down to the bottom, which it is now. And this requires a pretty sizable trim here on the side. So what I'm going to do now, take off that sticky part there for now. But it works nicely. I'm going to take this and just trim this all the way back. Here. And across. Sorry, the camera work is not... I'm basically just taking the one half so I can fold it down onto itself as opposed to onto this other piece of plastic. Okay. And then I just take this piece and fold it all the way down to there. And on the sides. And now I've got a... And I can trim this if I want to. I usually don't, but I can. Now I've got a bag that covers the complete Monterey Pop. And this is another one that's this cardboard look. So nice to be able to hold it in there. I could even go with a bigger size one than this, clearly. This is a Blu-ray. I've done DVDs just as easily as this. Now I won't do something like the Cassavetes box set, but it's got some more room, so I'm going to guess you might be able to go as wide as... You can probably go... I bet you could go another... How much wider can I make this thing go? I bet you another half an inch or so beyond this. I'll bet you I could do Red River with it, which is the thickest one I've got on the Blu-ray side. I bet you I could do Red River with it. I may just attempt that one next. But I'm running out of bags. They're oversized bags, so the Red River would be a good candidate. That's another nice cardboard type one like this. So that's how I do it, guys. Those are the size bags. I don't know how these measure out. Do I have a measuring tape here? Just have a measuring tape here somewhere. Yeah, not so much. Wait a minute, do I have one in here? Let's see, I got this bag of crap that I have here that has everything in it. Apparently butter measuring tape. I had one in here recently, and the kids have been grabbing it to do various projects with for school. So I don't have it, but again, it's if you hold it up to a Blu-ray, it's a pretty good size bag. I don't know what that measures. It's an oversized DVD bag is what it is. I use them for Blu-rays, and they're much too oversized, but I'm okay with that with the trusty scissors. So hopefully that helps. I'll go ahead and do the freshman and then put this away. But if you have any questions, please go ahead and list them below. I'd be happy to. If you need more information on what I've given you, and I realize I haven't given you where I got them from, but it was eBay. As I recall, there was quite a few people selling something like it. I don't know if they're available on Amazon, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were. It's a fairly common thing, I think. And you could probably go to websites that just sell, protective sleeves for DVDs, and then just go ahead and research the particular size you want for whatever you're looking to do. But that's how I do the large ones. If I ever find one that could do like the Cassavetes box set on DVD, I'll let you know. But so far I haven't found anything that big. I think libraries might be able to point you in the right direction too, because they always have all sorts of protective stuff they put on magazines and books and in the day records and all that stuff. So my guess is they have sources they could point you to that would help you to do that. But unfortunately, I do not have those. So I'm just annoyed by these little wings that end up on these. So I should always trim them right off. Again, water could get down in there or something, or even dust. But that's not what concerns me. Get a nice looking plastic coating on. Really nice looking case. And once in a while I got to fix the back. And I'm going to say these aren't the most sturdy things, so if you're a little rough, but I have extras all the time. Occasionally I'll get a little tear in it or something. That doesn't really concern me all that much, so long as the case itself is protected from that shelf wear in and out of the shelf all the time, or at times, or just from sitting on the shelf getting worn. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this, guys. Hope it's informative, and I'll do some more of these. In fact, I'm going to plan on doing one that I'm going to steal from another YouTuber from years ago when the Smallville box set came out. A lot of people complain about those kind of sets where the discs are wedged down in there. I'm going to show you with the Smallville set in particular how to get those discs out without any damage whatsoever happening to them. So, and you don't have to be a genius to do it. I can show you that, and it may apply to other types of sets like that. That's just the set I own, but that's something for a future video. All right, guys, that's it for now. Thanks.